Yeah, okay. I know some of you are going to be like, Will, it looks like you're in a hotel room. What are you doing? Are you still on? What are you doing? Okay, all right. Just listen to my day, okay? And then analyze my choices. So, last night, I was at kind of a low point in my tent, which is where I recorded that podcast episode. And I woke up to I was at my tent. There was a beautiful mountain scenery in front of me. And I woke up and the guy next to me was giving me some, Brent, he left a comment. He may be watching this video. Hey, Brent, thank you again. He gave me some of his coffee. He gave me a banana to eat, and was giving me some intel on the journey to come, telling me that it was basically the hardest part of the Wicklow Way for sure. And also the forecast was for rain all day. And I was hoping that wouldn't be true. Spoiler alert, it was true. And so I woke up and I put on my huge pack and 40 pounds, like 13, 14 kilos for you Irish viewers watching. I was like, all right, there's nothing to do but go. And so I went, and I was already it was good morale going into up the mountain. And then as the mountain started happening, I was like, I'm so tired from yesterday too. And like my shoulders are killing me and my feet hurt and I have a blister and morale's kind of low. It started dipping, And Brent was practicing. He was an American. I lived in Ireland, but he's an American. He's practicing for a marathon. And so he was just there camping next to me to do some practice cardio, like some running. So he ran off ahead of me after talking to me for a bit and saying goodbye. And I kept walking up the mountain. It started to rain. And as it started to rain, I ran into Brent again, who was coming back down the mountain. He gave me some more intel on what I could expect on my way to the mountain over the next little path, continuing on my journey. And I was like, okay. And so I put my rain jacket on. I put my rain cover over my pack. I threw the pack back on. And I said, there's nothing to do but continue forward. He said that there's not too many spots to get water, which was a big issue the day before. Because I do have a filter, but, So he was like, all right, you're going to come across a river. You're going to go downhill. You're going to come across a river. Then you're going to go uphill. And you're going to go uphill forever. It's going to take such a long time to go uphill. And then you'll go down and finish the rest of the way. But the big part is going uphill. And I was like, okay, I'll set up shop for a bit and rest at the river. Very, very beautiful, as I'll later come to see. I wish I would have taken a picture, but I couldn't have because rain. We'll get to it later. At that point, the rain had stopped a little bit. So I was like, hey, maybe the rain will pass. At this point, I was soaked completely to my socks. So I was like, okay, like a few hours of walking in the dry and no rain is going to be fine, right? Like I'll dry off. So I got down to the river and I was completely alone. There were people ahead of me that I could see at the river, but they trotted up along the mountain uphill before I could get to them. And so I got there, and at this point it started raining again. Hard. And I was like, my stomach is rumbling. I don't have much fresh water, filtered water. So I set up my camping stove, and under the rain, like the rain was coming down, and I set my pack up. I was always worried about water getting into the pack. So I turned it on and I got the thing going, and I put water on to boil to make some oatmeal that I had. And in the meantime, I ate a Snickers bar and a little packet of tuna, which is, as I will later come to realize, not as delicious of a combination as I thought it would be. or wasn't thinking at the moment. I was just like, food, eat. So I ate my oatmeal, filled up my water. It was very beautiful. Filled up my water pack, very, very beautiful. And I started up. I was like, okay, I crossed the bridge of the river and I started up the mountains. That section was maybe the hardest of the journey. It went up for so long, and I was still exhausted from yesterday. Everything was aching on me. It hurt to move every part of my body, and I just had to. I had to go up. I had to. What else am I going to do? There's nowhere to camp around here. It's basically marsh. The entire mountain is basically marshland just because of how much it's raining. As I was going up at this point, the wind was like whipping at my face and sideways rain, and I just had to go forward. And I started praying, and I started aligning the suffering that I was experiencing at the moment, and specifically the suffering of me carrying this pack. I aligned that with Jesus carrying his cross. And so I was praying the sorrowful mysteries, and I was just, at a certain point, I just stopped praying the sorrowful mysteries of the rosary, and I just thought, I was like, I remember what Kylie, my girlfriend, for those who are new to me, had texted me privately. She was like, if you feel your pack is too heavy, align that suffering with the suffering of Jesus on his cross. And Jesus fell 3 times. So it's okay for me to fall too. And at this point, I definitely was falling emotionally. It was so difficult. Again, I hadn't prepared adequately for this journey physically. Like, I had no preparation going in. And I knew it would suck. And I was trying to embrace the suck, right? That's what James told me. James, if you're watching this, shout out. And Cameron. And so I shout out to the boys. So I did. I tried to embrace the suck. And at this point, rain was completely sideways. I could see almost nothing because it was so cloudy up there. Rain was sideways. I was teeth chatteringly cold. Wind was whipping my face. I'm going to be honest, full transparency. Like, tears were stinging my eyes. And I started talking out loud to God. I was like, God, and I know this video is going to be longer because more important things happened. And also, I'm not exhausted like I was last video. I said, God, like, why have I come here? Why did I do this? I knew it would be hard. And I kept thinking, and I was like, I knew it would be hard. I know it would be hard. And it's gonna suck. And that was made very clear to me that it's gonna suck by the boys. Shout out to Thursday Night Bullfest. And I thought to myself, okay, this is exactly what James and Cameron told me would happen. I'm going to embrace this. And I tried to, and I did for a lot of the part, right? And I just kept going up. My pack was so heavy, but this entire trip has been just basically a factory of moments where I am in desperate need of something and God provides. Like yesterday, I didn't tell it in the video, but I was completely out of water, no water. And I was like, God, please provide me water. And he did, like moments after I asked for some. And every time that I get lonely or homesick or nervous that I'm going the wrong direction God provides me somebody. And I'll get to that, another point of that later in the video too. So I kept going. I passed by people every 30 minutes or so. I met some amazing people. A guy from Virginia with a big old white mustache and big old white eyebrows smashed. She's pretty cool. At this point, I had taken to praying, obviously, and also I had taken to narrating my journey in the third person. And it was really fun, and it got my mind off of it. I was yelling, singing at the top of my lungs. Nobody's around me. It's whipping rain. Nobody's going to hear me anyways. I was singing Garden Head by Nutri Milk Hotel. Shout out to Cameron. And Ebb and Flow by Larry and His Flask. Shout out to Kylie. And I was singing loud, and I felt good, right? I felt good. And I kept going for what seemed like forever. And at this point, the morale was starting to wane a bit. I got to a beautiful lake. Shout out to Kylie's dad. It was the Guinness Lake. And I ran into a lady there named Kira. And I walked with her. She was going the same direction as me, and I walked with her for a while. She's a local. She's just going out for a walk. Beautiful weather. But she just went out for a walk, and she was like, you seem cold. Would you like to share like some coffee with me in my car? And I was like, yeah. And so we got to her car in a car park after a while, and I was so thankful to be gone out of those mountains. I got to her car, and she popped the trunk and gave me trail mix, 2 candy bars, 2 bottles of water. I just chugged one, and the other one I took with me, and a little thermos of strong hot coffee. And that was, as some of you people know, I don't really love coffee that much, but that was, I swear, the best drink that I've ever had in my life, because I was teeth chatteringly cold, and I was so done, and my feet were killing me. And I was like, how much longer till we get to the town of Lara? And she was like, oh, Lara's just around this just go down this road, and you'll find about an hour and a half of walking. I was like, okay, cool. At this point, I was like, I'm scared to get back on the road because I'm so cold. I don't want to do it anymore. But I kept going, and my poles just tap, 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 tap on the road. And I thought I was going to Lara, right? I was like, okay, follow this road. Just go down for a bit, and then follow the Wicklow Way path until I get to Lara. It couldn't be that far, right? I've done HE double hockey sticks of a day to get to the end of the mountains, and then now Lara's got to be just around the corner, right? That's what I thought, and I was just going forward, and like, okay, I'm so close. I'm so cold. I'm so ready to like be dry. And I kept going. And then down the road, the Wicklow Way signpost said to take a right into a big forest, and I was like, okay. And I was kind of confused, and so a guy was passing by in his car, and I waved him down, and he stopped, and I was like, hey, excuse me, do you know if I'm going the right way to Lara? The Wicklow Way tells me to go here, to the right here, through this forest. He was like, yeah, the forest, I don't know if it connects, but I'm going to Lara if you just want to ride. And I was like, no, like, Lara's probably just like around here. I'll just go. I'll just be an extra like mile. You know, she said it was an hour maybe to get to Lara, so I'll just go, whatever. And I went, and I went through the woods, and I went. And every so often I would say to myself, like, oh, Lara's got to be just around the corner, right? Right? And I just kept going for like 2 hours. Like an hour and a half maybe. And I was such low morale. And I ran into somebody. I forgot his name. It was an Irish name, like Gaelic. It means, I remember, if he's watching now, it means fair, like fair-haired. He was a redhead guy with a beard, and I ran into him. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, thank goodness I found somebody. Like, I'm in the middle of the freaking woods. This is not taking me anywhere near Lara. What is happening? I was talking to him. He's like, yeah, I'm just out for a walk, and you trying to find Lara? That's a ways away. like 13 kilometers. And I was like, what? And long story short, he was like, my car's parked 5 miles this way. It's the closest area. Do you just want to ride? And I had felt two emotions in that moment. Number one, I was like, 5 miles? I don't want to do 5 miles. And number two, I love you. Thank you. And so I was like, yeah. And so we got to walking. We walked for the 5 miles together. It took us a ways, but he's 22. He's my age. Just graduated college like 4 or 5 days ago. Congratulations, by the way. We just talked about everything. We talked about rugby. We talked about American like gun culture. We talked about like hunting. We talked about like everything. So enjoyable. And he was like, listen, like, I'll just take you to a local town called Roundwood. It's by Laura. And I was like, that's great to me. I'm just ready for anything. Long story short, we got to Roundwood. That's where I'm at now. Had quite the day. I've had quite the day. So before any of you get on to me about not wild camping tonight, you can shove it. I'm out here. You're not. Anyways. So tomorrow, my shoulders are killing me. My body is killing me. My body is revolting against me. Tomorrow, I'm going to an ancient monastic town. I'm going to ruins of an old church that monks used to sit there and translate the Bible into the vernacular and would run up into the tower when the Vikings came to seek safety. It's called Glendalough. If you're curious at home and you want to do some research, Glendalough. Anyways, I'm taking a bus there because I've earned it. I've earned that bus ride. Dang it. And I try to make it before Mass. But tomorrow's going to be an easy day, I think. I'm going to make it an easy day because, darn it, I deserve a day off. Anyways, after that, I'll keep you updated some more. Sorry for the 18-minute video. Daggum. Anyways, thanks for the support. Goodbye.